When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty, quote made by Thomas Jefferson. And I think we're gonna have to apply it considering all of the dumb shit that's happening to the internet nowadays. You see, I had no intentions of breaking my 1 week sort of break from most of the internet. When I went to YouTube today, right, to take a look at, what new music I could add to the music playlist, guess what happened? I was flooded with inundations and recommendations, just recommending me all of this censorship stuff, the war on the internet, essentially. And I thought, you know what? As much as I don't want to break my silence, I'm gonna be forced to, because let's just be honest, there's not enough people talking about this, right? So I wanted to sort of talk about it a bit, break down stuff that's going on, and sort of give why this is just such a bad idea, just in general. The footage you're seeing in the background is not important. I simply wanted to have something going in the background as I yapped for like 10 minutes. All of this started from Collective Shout, a organization that is dedicated to, quote-unquote, stopping harm and violence against women in video games, right? I don't know if that's the exact quote, but that's what they seem to be against, right? That's what they're trying to do. And boy, they could not do it worse. They tried to censor many different games in the past, which failed miserably, let's be honest. Something that they tried to do, right, that they succeeded for a bit, at least, is take off all of the not safe for work games from Steam and itch.io. And how they did this is not through Steam and itch.io themselves, but through the payment processors. Yep, they just completely jumped the fucking gun and said essentially, wah, MasterCard and Visa, help us, wah. That's essentially what they said. That's not the full quote, but mockingly that's what I'm going to say because it's funny. Basically what they're saying is that, these platforms are making sure that violence against women keep going. And it's just like, I don't think you understand how little that matters. It's a fucking video game. It's fucking make-believe, dude. If you think that a video game is gonna facilitate violence against any group or person, you are sorely mistaken. As I said before, it is a motherfucking video game. It's make-believe, it's not real. To the people who say, video games have caused bad stuff in the past, they have, but you gotta remember, these are mentally unwell people. One bad apple spoils the bunch in this case. And Collective Shout would want to censor everything to the point where video games are children games only. Anything above PG or 10 plus in this case. I said PG, but it was wrong. Anything above 10 plus would be considered bad. And even then, 10 plus would not be safe. If it was up to them, they would censor the entirety of the Steam platform and the entirety of itch as well. Just blanket censor, right? No more games from them. And that's what they would try to do. And that's what they essentially did, at least for a bit. So what happened, right, is they said that not safe for work video games are being hosted on Steam and itch.io in order to facilitate violence against women. And if you look at the catalog of games, a lot of it is just like, gooner games, right? Do I play these gooner games? No. I'm just gonna be upfront, no. Basically any not safe for work game, right, that had sexual content in it. Well, itch recently has started to relist some of those games that were free, specifically free, not going through the payment processor, which is fine. They said this, right, to Visa and MasterCard, and Visa and MasterCard said, okay, we're gonna confront Steam and itch.io about it, which prompted Steam and itch.io to completely just say, okay, fine, fuck it, you win. And completely and utterly nuke most of the not safe for work content. Now that wouldn't be a bad thing, it's what the fuck ever, but at the same time, it's a little bit of censorship hiccup. It's not the greatest thing in the world. I'm not gonna cry and weep over the fact that Gooner Games got removed from Steam and itch. It's the fact of these payment processors, right, who've stated in the past that they are fully and willing to just process the payment. It doesn't matter what the fuck it is. They're not going to judge you for it. All they're there to do is process a payment. That's all they're supposed to do. That's all they've said they do. Now they can somehow facilitate this sort of censorship because it's quote-unquote brand damaging. I'm not gonna lie, you doing this has damaged your brand a lot more than just having the games there. So yeah, there's that. But there's also the fact of that this sparked a whole wave And I don't think that this is all just, coincidence at this point. It's happening all at once everywhere that I feel like that this is staged. But that's just my own game theory about it. I'm probably going to be seen as a conspiracy theorist after that, which is fine. But the fact of the matter is that the UK passed a law where any harmful to children site, you must provide identification. So your face, a facial ID scan or a government ID, something that proves that you were over 18. And let's just say that it's not good, because let's be honest, right? Say like you cave, you're over 18, right? You cave and you give the government your ID. They now have your ID. Well, what if, whatever third party service that whatever website is using, because the government's not going to do this themselves, that would be way too much fucking manpower. They're going to, have other companies do this for them. Well, what if, they just say, oh yeah, no, this entire, company got data breached. I don't think you understand what that means. If they get data breached, what happens to your ID? It's now in the hands of some dude that you don't know. And it's basically on the internet for anyone to see now. Exactly my point. It's bad. It's not good. Not only that, there's also the fact of all of this is happening all at once, which is not good. They were saying, oh, we have to do this to protect the kids, to mitigate the risk of kids finding harmful websites. And it's just like, it's not your fucking job to make something safe for kids. If the kid, right, gets on the internet and, God forbid, finds porn, it's not on you to make sure the kid is safe. It is on the duty of the motherfucking parent to make sure that the kid is not looking up porn. And that's just the matter of fact of it. If you think that, oh, doing this is a good thing, right? I'm sorry to say, but you might have to just log off the internet for a while and just never return. Because if you think that what's happening, right, with all the censorship and having to prove you're over 18 to do stuff is a good thing, you're probably already too far gone. All of this happened, right? The UK went through with this. Because YouTube saw what the UK was doing and how it was quote-unquote successful, it's not. Guess what happened? YouTube is just like, oh yeah, no, what we're going to do is we're going to try to estimate somebody's age with, search queries, what they've looked at, their subscribed channels, whatnot, with AI. I know. Whenever I said the letters A and I, some people just completely just rebounded in their seats, completely just fucking threw themselves against the wall, crying, shaking, the world is ending, I don't like AI either. And in order to prove, right, that you were over 18, say like, you're over 18, and the AI gets your age estimation wrong, guess what you have to do in order to prove you're 18? Provide a government ID, credit card information, or a facial scan. This seems eerily familiar. With YouTube in the UK doing all this, collective shout going after MasterCard and Visa, which is going after Steam and Itch, right? All of this going on. The US, right? Canada, Indonesia, all of these, places, the EU, are trying to pass laws that censor the internet, essentially. Essentially, they're trying to say, prove you're 18 to be on the internet, right? We haven't gotten to the Australia part, which I think is completely stupid yet. You need to prove you're 18 to be on the internet. And since when has the internet become this big boogeyman where only adults go to exploit children? That's what these people think. That's the internet as a whole. And I'm sorry to say, right, and this might come as a big shock to anyone who thinks that this is a good idea, right? This might come as a shock, right? So prepare yourselves. It's not. The internet's not that. All of this is going on at the same time, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I don't like it. The internet is supposed to be this place where, you can be yourself, where you can say what you like, do what you like, within reason, of course, as long as it's not illegal. That's trying to be removed by people who are in power, because it's not about protecting the kids. No, it's about censorship and surveillance. And onto the Australia thing, right? Which I really am baffled about. People who are under the age of 16 are not allowed on the internet at all. I'm just gonna rip the band-aid off. I don't know why they're doing this. I don't know why they think this is a good idea. Why would Australia remotely do this? I mean, like, Australia's already rotten and corrupt to the goddamn core, let's be honest. I don't know why Australia would do this. They think that, they're protecting the kids this way. It's just like, ever heard of censorship, Australia? Ever heard of surveillance? I'm sure you have, because you're, a country with a big government, and let's just be honest, the government is spying on everything. Just why is everything happening all at once? And if all of this does go into effect, what does this mean for the internet? Will we have to switch to using the dark web? Will we have to make a new internet? You know, will there be revolutions across the world? But I just wanted to voice my opinion here and say at the very end of the video, all of this stuff happening right now, bad, and don't support it. Because if you do, then you're probably fucked up in the head. Anyways, I didn't really want to post, you know, in my week away from the internet, but had to, because I saw that all of this shit was happening all at once. See you guys when the week is up. Well, when the rest of the week is up. What the fuck ever.